Good morning, everyone. Good morning, AXN, and welcome back to another session of leveling up your health, wealth, and happiness in life. So, today is the third episode of our gut series, and today we are looking at nutrition and gut health in a bit detail. So, we're gonna we're gonna straight go ahead into it. Okay, so we're gonna first discuss what not to include in your diet. So enough, we know all of this, but still we're gonna make it a bit more clear for you. So there's like enough evidence, okay, which supports the fact that a high sugar diet can negatively affect our gut microbiome. So these not so healthy foods can play havoc with your gut flora. That is the fast and junk food, pizza, burgers, then a few vegetable oils like sunflower, soy, canola, etc. They can actually like turn rancid when it's heated. Then conventional dairy like cheese, ice creams, etc. Then baked products, breads, muffins, donuts, pastries, processed meat like salami, bacon, hot dogs, then some sauces like pasta sauces, soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, beverages, which we don't even need to talk about alcohol, then even fruit juices. So what? Do we just remove all our favorite tasty processed food? No, of course not. I love burgers. I love pizza. I love the pasta sauce. I love everything very much. So we come to that. Maybe not today. Maybe like another day. There we'll talk about three approaches. That is eating, um, enjoyable, realistic, and aggressive. These are three ways people eat. We'll come to that another day. Specifically, we'll have it for that part of the gut series, of course. So you see, there was a study that compared sugar with Coke, not the soft drink, but that white stuff, that white powder that people kind of sniff. Okay, and guess which of the two came out to be more addictive? Yeah, sugar. And there is literally sugar in anything that comes in a wrapper or a box. That's why it's called white poison. There's a reason. So even if you, I think even poison is scared of sugar. So let's say you have bulldog determination that you will quit everything and only eat super healthy 100% of the time. Maybe possible for a week, maybe for a few weeks or a month, 2 months. But sooner or later, you will revert to your old ways of eating, right? It's like we cannot go without it, like restricting, and then you're like, yes, let me just take a break. So what do? We'll obviously follow this age-old advice that is, if you can't beat them, you join them. Happy news it is, guys. So sugar is too powerful of an enemy. So what happens? What will you do? What will all of us do? We'll build a relationship with it. We're gonna embrace it. And when you do, over time, you will enjoy eating all the above foods. But overall, your consumption will drastically come down, reduce. I promise you that. And then over time, your taste buds will also alter. Your cravings will naturally reduce, and your habit of eating healthy most of the time will strengthen. And let me state this critical fact again regarding the gut health. That is, a strong gut has enough diversity and stability of microbes. Essentially, a more diverse microbiome is a healthy one. Every species has a unique and specific role in keeping us overall healthy. So recall in the last meeting, the studies which we went over, which concluded that children in rural regions, they have more gut microbiome diversity than children in urban areas. Remember that. So Western diet has become like very limited due to monocropping. So think about this. Almost Every processed food that comes in a wrapper or a box, they contain some form of either like soy or corn, or both in them also. That is why you need to consume a variety of nutrients to add diversity and stability to your gut flora. And the best way to do so is to eat a plant-based diet. So a vegetarian diet is very powerful for optimal gut health. The 38 trillion bacteria that present in your gut, 38 trillion bacteria in the gut. They need to feed on something, right? They have to survive. They have to protect you. They have to help you with your immune system, mood regulation, serotonin production, everything. And prebiotics is food. It's bacteria's food. So a food can be termed a prebiotic if it satisfies three things. That is, it is resistant to breakdown in the small intestine, and it pass relatively intact to the large intestine. Then it is fermented by microbes in the large intestine, which also like, and the third one is it stimulates the growth of beneficial bacteria, the good bacteria. But the US Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, they have like guidelines or like specific rules for labeling prebiotic food. So most uh, plant food, they contain prebiotics in small amounts. But like there are about a dozen foods that contain more prebiotic content than others. So we'll classify prebiotics and discuss their benefits before I list and discuss all foods rich in prebiotics. So inulin, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Inulin. Seems like insulin, penicillin, inulin. So it's a generic term applied to a blend of fructose polymers, and it is widely distributed and present in 36,000 plant species. Now, inulin and oligofructose, all are such big terms. I had to literally look for word pronunciation. Now, this is like a subgroup of inulin, which promotes the growth and stability of beneficial bacteria in your gut. And specifically, it stimulates the growth of intestinal bifidobacteria. Now, bifidobacteria like health benefits, right? They help in inhibiting the growth of harmful bacteria. They help stimulate the immune system. They also help with the synthesis of B vitamins, which are very vital in energy production and a lot of other things. Then the most common foods rich in inulin are onions and garlic, not garlic paste though. So then two other exotic foods, right, which have a high content of inulin are chicory root and Jerusalem artichokes. I don't think I've ever had it in my life. Then galacto-oligosaccharides. We're gonna call it GOS, simple. So it's another group of prebiotics basically, and it has like a chain of 2 to 8 units. 2 to 8 units of galactose produced from lactose, that is milk sugar basically. And clinical studies have shown that breastfed infants, right, they have more beneficial bacteria and bifidobacteria than children fed in bottled milk, the Formula One. Now, starch and glucose derived oligosaccharides. So these oligosaccharides are called resistant starch, RS. So when fermented by the microbes in our gut, they can produce healthy butyrate levels. Now these resistant starch, they also add fecal bulk, a lower colonic pH, which is very essential in lowering the risk of colonic cancers. Then they also reduce cardiovascular risk. Now, this resistant starch is found in many common foods, like vegetables, potatoes, beans, lentils, seeds, and like some nuts. So now, a few food that are rich in prebiotics. We come to that. Like, please know that this is not an exhaustive list, and it's a very good idea to do your own research and eat a wide variety of fresh, local, seasonal, and organic produced food in your diet on a daily basis. So, let's say according to research, the strongest recommendation that they all suggest is to eat at least 5 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables, both raw and cooked daily. Not very exciting, isn't it? And in addition to that, add like grains, like whole grains, like oats, barley. We have cereals. We have our spalina cereals and cordyceps cereals. Then wheat, barley, I think I said that. And wheat, don't eat that if you are gluten intolerant, of course. Then chia seeds, flax seeds, and different types of nuts. They'll all ensure that you ingest all kinds of prebiotics in your diet. Everybody has unique different kinds of prebiotics in them. So eat everything. Obviously, in the end, the total quantity also matters, right? And for men, it's said that there should be at least like 40 grams plus daily fiber intake, which is like a must to optimize our gut health for men. And the number for women is 25 grams plus daily. So like red rice, I've talked about red rice before. Red rice is a great source. Both my parents and I, we only eat red rice for lunch. Like it's been more than a year since we eat red rice, and I said also like only if we have when we only feel like we're outside or we are attending some wedding where there is some sadhya, we eat white rice. Otherwise, it's always red rice. But as we all know, we are people from the Gateson family, so we don't have to worry about adding chia seeds, measuring up certain amount of potatoes, or even, oh no, today I have to eat 3 apples, 7 bananas for my correct potassium intake. No, we don't do that. Why? Because we have spalina, we have RG, we have GL. Now we have Ayurvedic series. We have so many uncommon yet powerful beverages. And by uncommon, I mean, like not everybody knows about this or eats it on a daily basis. Like the noni fruit, the roselle, then lemon tea, morinchi, kombucha, which is becoming famous now. There's a very huge hype for it. Now we also have capsules, right? A lot of different types of capsules, and more are coming also. All these are enough to keep us healthy, to help us reach our daily amount of required nutrition also. We are an exception, guys, and I can't tell you how much like how eternally grateful I am that I have this with me, especially since before I was born. Like, let me remind you again. Uh, I'm literally the most healthiest person among my friend group of my age. And I eat everything I can. I eat all sorts of things, junk food, processed food, everything, chips, all those things, biscuits. I eat everything. I'm not bragging. I'm sharing a fact which could help you and maybe your friends or whoever it is. And to be honest, if you like really think about it, it's not anybody's fault that they are having all these veggies, fruits, and yet they don't get the required amount of nutrition, because generally our society is messing everything up. It's literally out of everybody's hand. But well, Dr. Lim, having established EXN, basically saved 16 million, and it's increasing each day by day, saved 60 million plus people's lives. So now moving forward in time, it's going to be even harder for people to meet the required amount of nutrition. That's a discussion for another day. Now, moving on to probiotics. So the best definition of probiotics was given by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 2001. That is, live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. Who is the host? We are the host. So the 4 most dominant bacterial phyla in the human gut are very complicated words: Firmicutes, Bacteroidetes, Actinobacteria, and Proteobacteria. So it's important to know that the genus Bacteroides, right, they constitute about 30% of all bacteria in the gut. And another interesting fact about the probiotic supplement you find in the market is that they almost exclusively contain the genera and bifidobacteria. as they have like a long history of safe use. Now, probiotics are measured in something called CFU, that is colony forming units. So, like, what is that? So, for example, imagine a tiny seed, okay, in the world of microbes like bacteria, fungi. So, a CFU, a colony forming unit, is kind of like that seed. So, like, I'll break it down. Okay, CFU stands for colony forming unit. So a scientist use it to basically count live microbes in a sample. So they place a sample on a special dish with nutrients like a tiny garden. And if a live microbe is present, it will grow and multiply, forming a visible clump called a colony. Very easy to understand, right? So by counting the number of colonies, scientists can estimate the number of live microbes in the original sample. I still wonder how though. So here's the key. CFUs only count live microbes that can grow and multiply. Unlike there are like some other methods where they also count the dead ones, which is pretty useless, right? What is the point? Something that doesn't work, where like it's like eating processed food. Like processed food is dead food. I saw that on Instagram. Real processed food is dead food, and like fruits, veggies, all those things like that. Plant-based foods, right? Like the natural ones, they are live food. And here goes the society counting dead microbes. What's the point? Now, supplements, like most good supplements, right? They contain like 1 to 10 billion CFUs per dose. You think about supplements this small and it has 1 to 10 billion, think about it. But like a few expensive ones, they can rise up to like 15 to 50 billion CFU doses per dose with multiple bacterial strains. Now, yogurt, okay, like yogurt can have like a lot of CFU, but the exact amount depends on the brand. Like I said, some of them count the dead ones. Like look for labels which say live and active cultures, live and active cultures. This will ensure that the bacteria are mostly alive. Then homemade, anything homemade, like have a garden. That's my plan. When I have a house, I'm having a whole big garden at the back. So like homemade is the best. And you like back then, right? When our grandparents or like when our parents, when they were like my age since I'm young, they all had cows, hens, ducks, everything in their house. Explains why they're very healthy than compared to the generation now. Now, if you can make your own yogurt or maybe other probiotic foods with fresh ingredients, they are healthier and cheaper, obviously, than the store-bought options. But again, it takes time, energy. We have to invest into it, right? So if you have a garden, right, just put spirulina and Ganodermine, they'll grow stronger than ever. It's very intelligent, I know. So overall, CHUs are a helpful way to compare the amount of good bacteria in different probiotic food. Now, I did some research and found that fermented food items, kombucha, they can contain as much as 150 billion CFU per tablespoon. Now, I don't know which kombucha they tested it on, but if 1 tablespoon is 150 billion, imagine a bottle. We have this big bottle, this big of kombucha. Specifically, our DXN kombucha I'm talking about, because we can trust it. We can blindly trust anything that DXN produces, right? So just let me take a guess. It's a guess, maybe a gazillion number of 150 gazillion of CFUs, which basically makes it 100,000 times more healthier and better, isn't it? Do we really actually realize what we have with us? Now, coming back to it, the big question is how how many probiotics do we need daily? Good health. There's no correct answer for that. So therefore, only like general guidelines may suffice, which are who are lacto-vegetarian, include one serving of yogurt, like maybe 150 to 200 grams, or like buttermilk or kefir really, or have kombucha. Noni, morinchi, and kombucha definitely on an empty stomach has benefits you cannot think of or expect to have through some other ways. So now if you're vegan, the best solution is to ferment your vegetables. Best examples are kimchi. If Korea boos are here, we know kimchi is a very big deal in Korea, isn't it? And then there's this thing, kanji water. I actually thought it was kanji, but it's kanji. You add carrots, a lot of stuff, and a lot of seeds and stuff. Basically, make a juice out of it. And then switching to sourdough, which is bread, sourdough bread, which is basically fermented bread. It is very good in improving our gut health. We're not going to eat white bread anymore, isn't it? Now, lastly, if we can, you can like include things like pickles, natto, and miso along with your meals. Natto is soy, fermented soybeans basically, and it's Japanese. It's the first time I heard of something like that. Now, supplementation and gut health. This is like the last thing for today. So, if we are talking about the general society, it's complicated to decipher if and whether, like, we're talking about the society, not us, we're exception. We're talking about the normal people. Okay. It's like, it's doubtful, like, whether the supplements and all the tablets and the pills that they have daily are actually doing their job to improve the host's overall health. Now, millions of people worldwide, they take one or more dietary supplements almost daily. So some popular ones are like multivitamins, minerals, protein powders for the gym bros, and probiotics, of course. So before we proceed, a word of caution: like most dietary supplements are safe to use, but it's obviously best to consult the doctor before you start a supplement regime of any kind. It's for the normal people again. The extent is not supplement; it's food because it can interact with some medicines or like health conditions, stuff like that. So the food we eat is basically now losing its nutritional value. How it's grown, how it's transported, and how we store it and cook it. So unless you buy your products from like a local farmer's market and take every little precaution to store it effectively and consume it by cooking on medium heat and not like overcooking it, there is almost 50 to 70% of loss of nutrients in your food. So the reduced nutrient density in our food is coupled with another issue. Now, 60% of the calories come from processed food for Americans. This was a research that was done, but this is like it's not different for other rest of the world. So factory foods are highly processed. Okay, they offer literally little to like no nutritional value. Anyways, it is not enough for all the bacteria in the gut to feed upon. It's straightforward. Now, the companies that manufacture these processed and fast food, they rely on taste, convenience, and obviously on how much profit they'll earn by the end of the day. Everything is about money nowadays, isn't it? So now the difference between the people who take supplements from outside of the DXN family and people who consume normal daily food along with DXN food is that they can never ever like not eat rice or like not eat vegetables or fruits for like more than a week before they go crazy, like develop depression or like they feel down, like very sad or very fatigued, and there's limited time before they develop some sort of medical condition. But we could we could go on without people who take the DXN products. We could go on without Lim Surgeon said it, Dr. Lim Surgeon said that. It was there in this interview, and I trust them blindly. So we could. I've never tried it personally. I don't know if any of you have tried it, but I 100% agree with that because I've done certain experiments with the products, like with the RGGL and the Spirulina. It took me a whole month to experiment, I'm like my own guinea pig. It's fun though. So I know what I'm saying. Now, did you know that many phytonutrient compounds in our food, like the jungle, like the rice, vegetables, food like that, it's like it's still being discovered. And spirulina is the greatest source of phytonutrients. Gives everything like carotenoids, then essential fatty acids, phenolic acid, vitamin B12, provitamin, etc. All of that, which we otherwise could only get if we have many fruits, many vegetables all combined together, maybe like three times, 3 meals a day. See, like why now spirulina is called is has been declared as the superfood. And yeah, spirulina actually kind of has some probiotic functions information. So now for the normal people, supplements don't provide essential things like phytonutrients. And for them, like the best way forward is to get habitual of the following before they like take dietary supplement regimes seriously. That is, they'll have to eat over 80% of calories from obviously unprocessed foods like organic fruits, um, vegetables, whole grains, and quality protein like eggs, raw dairy, nuts, seeds, coconut oil, etc. And for us, like the DX and family members, I'd say spirulina is a given. RG and GL and all other tabs in like the right quantity. Experiment with yourself along with the billion beverages we have, guys. It's a whole meal. We have a whole meal. Now, shop from farmers instead of a supermarket. Now, fruits and vegetables lose their nutritional value the moment they are plucked. Likewise, food in the supermarket, they are traveling hundreds of miles before we buy them. So, like, focus on buying fresh, local, seasonal, and organic products from a farmer's market, or just grow a garden in your backyard and eat more fruits and vegetables, obviously, both raw and cooked. Stick to salad for dinner. It's good. Eat light. It be light, and your gut will be very happy. Along with that, have a great glass of noni juice. So the recommended serving is like 5 to 8 servings daily, which is not very practical, isn't it? Like I'm personally not a fan of fruits and vegetables. I mean, I like them, but I'm not going to eat 2 apples a day or like 7 bananas a day or even broccolis. Like I might occasionally, but I'm not a huge fan of eating things like that, right? Now, my dinner is salad. I've said that before. I think it's cucumber, carrot, and apples, and sometimes we add some nuts in it. It tastes really good with the essence, obviously vinegar, coconut oil, and some salt. It tastes really good. But other than that, it's not really practical. But we have these supplements with us. We have these Ganoderma food, spirulina food that does amazing things to our body. Just have to give it. Body's going to do everything. And that's it for today, guys. Hope there was some sort of new information for you guys. And next week, I'll talk about gut health and lifestyle, specifically about sleep. Sleep is wonderful. It does magic. I cannot wait to tell you about the magic. I personally like my sleep sometimes used to be very messy. Like I'd be late, like 11:30, 12:30. I've realized that again, I experiment. I'm my own guinea pig. So I experimented and like 10:30, 11, if I go to bed, I will wake up and I will switch off my alarm 1 hour earlier. It's amazing what it does to the skin. We'll discuss that, and it's very important. Lastly, I'd also like tell you my personal gut detox routine. I love it. I love it so much, which will really help everybody out there on developing your overall well-being. So until then, good morning, Jason, and see you next week. Bye bye.